Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like the video, make sure you share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I've dropped my Patreon link down in the description below if you'd like to join me there. Thank you. So today was Hasbro PulseCon day number 1, and I have to say some of the reveals for today were really good. I'm very excited for Hasbro PulseCon day number 2 as Transformers and Power Rangers will be involved there. But today we're going to talk about the reveals that we've seen. So revealed today was Dungeons and Dragons Drizzt and Gwen Hiver figures. So these are figures from Dungeons and Dragons from Forgotten Realms. I am not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, but this looks like a pretty cool set, and I think it's something that I might pick up. So very interesting looking sculpt here on this figure. Really like it. So this is Drizzt and this is Gwen Hiver. Now again, I am not familiar with this, so any fans in the link below, do give me a heads up on how to pronounce these names if possible. I think the sculpt work looks really nice like on this, and from what I understand, this guy is a dark elf. So very nice to see that there has some sort of weathering along here with the fur that he is wearing as a cloak. I think that this is really nice, and it pushes on my thoughts that I would love to see Hasbro take on the Lord of the Rings figures. So he comes here with 2 blades, and we see this panther-like figure, which I think is really cool, and I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in picking this panther figure up for the Black Panther movie figures. This would stand really nicely, I think, with the Black Panther figures. So here we see a potentially less windswept Drizzt with his swords now in his sheath, and he's walking along with the panther. I think the panther figure looks really nice, and I think overall this is a very nice looking figure. The accessories that come with this are very interesting, and this is the box art itself. I think the box art looks really nice. I like the spider that's here, and I certainly hope that this line branches out and gives us more figures, as I really like these mythical type of figures, and I think if they made a big line on this, even though I'm not a fan of Dungeons and Dragons and I have very limited knowledge about it, I certainly would buy figures from this line, given the fact that they are sort of mythical and have sort of vibes of Lord of the Rings in my opinion. The box art for this looks really nice. You get some sort of dice as well too. Like I said, I am not familiar with this line whatsoever, so do forgive my ignorance towards this. I like the way the swords are packaged. We have extra hands. It looks like a panther totem, 2 heads, and an ice effect. I think that these look absolutely outstanding. This is really nice, and like I said, I would love to see Hasbro take on the Lord of the Rings. I know someone else has the license at the moment, but wow, this would definitely fill me full of confidence with Hasbro. We get to see something new with Hasbro, and it's a plug-in hairpiece. So we see the head here, and it looks like there'll be a plug-in part that you can have a windswept look on this very stern, stoic face, or you can have it on the gritting teeth face. I like this option. I think this is a very good idea, and I have to say overall this figure really blows me away. I'll definitely be pre-ordering this as soon as I can. I think that this looks really cool. I mean, look at that. That looks very outstanding in my opinion. I love the ice effects for it too, and I think this panther that comes along with it looks very nice, and it will go well for anybody's Black Panther display. The next thing that we've seen then from Hasbro Pulse was they went on then and they were talking about Hero Quest. So Hero Quest was something that I wasn't too interested in, or do I really know much about, but it was nice to see Joe Magniello coming into that there as well too. We had a lot of these sweepstakes cosplay prizes, which I thought were really good, and overall I think that the cosplay designs were really nice, and I have to say fair play to the winners. Next that we seen was some vintage collection figures, which a lot of people of the vintage collection line are fans of, and they have felt very underrepresented in the last few years from Hasbro. Well, it looks like this is making a comeback, and Captain Rex was announced here, and he's in this vintage card style. I think that these look really nice, and given the fact that they are smaller scale, they would be very easily mountable onto a wall or into a display. The Mandalorian from this collection does very well. Next we have a TIE Fighter pilot. Very nice looking Kenner styled packaging. Very much so a reissue as far as I know. We have a new Anakin Skywalker. I like this. The peasant disguise from Attack of the Clones, and this is using photoreal technology on the face for Anakin Skywalker here. Clever idea from Hasbro. Really brings in people then to get this. I actually think that this head sculpt and the face print on this looks a lot better than this Hasbro 6-inch line from Black Series. I think that was a very poor likeness of Hayden Christensen personally, and I think that this does much of a better job, especially at a smaller scale. So strange to see that. We have Queen Amidala, so in her very nice attire, so very similar to a geisha look. I really like this look for Queen Amidala, and this I'd say would be a popular figure. They have a new Battle Droid, so this guy is coming with some weathering, so we're looking heavily into the prequels today from what we've seen, and this Battle Droid I think looks really nice. Next up on the cards then, we had our Hasbro Black Series figures. So there has been a couple of leaks over the last couple of days, and some figures Hasbro didn't show today have already been leaked and shown on pegs, and I'll get into them now in a few moments. But first up we had the Incinerator Trooper. Also was in the vintage collection as well too, so they are going to capitalise on this Mandalorian attention that's being seen right at the moment. I love this look though for the Incinerator Trooper. I love the flying parts. I like that Hasbro is starting to give us accessories for these figures. Really well appreciated. And I love the weathering on this Trooper. I'll definitely be purchasing more than one of this guy. Next up we have another image of the Trooper with the flame effect coming out of the barrel. I think that this looks absolutely outstanding. And it's on that new Stormtrooper body. So I really like the look of this. I'm a big fan. Next we have a Phase 1 Clone Trooper. So this was part of one of the leaks that we've seen online, and I'm really enjoying this. I have quite a number of Clone Troopers from the first release, and I will certainly be buying multiples of these. If I was Hasbro, I would be taking a leaf out of the Marvel Legends book, and I would sell this, and I would also sell these Clone Troopers in a cardboard box where you can army build them yourself. I have multiples of the original Trooper, and now I think that those Troopers could stand in the back line while these guys were front and centre to build that army even further. I really like the look of this, and I love how clean this looks, especially the paint job. I hope that they are going to use some sort of photo reel on this to make sure that the details on this are very clean and crisp. I'm a massive fan of this Clone Trooper. I love the look for this Clone Trooper. Here we have him again, and he just looks really nice. I'm a big fan of the Clone Troopers, of how they looked since Attack of the Clones, and here we have a very nice dynamic image of the clone. Very cool. Next we had a product shot of Darkseid Rey. So they don't have a physical product at the moment. I think they showed one on the live stream, but they don't have a finished render from what I understand of this one. So they did just show us renders. This is a figure I'm not too interested in. Not a fan of the sequel trilogy. This is pretty passable for me, and I have to say, given the fact that a lot of people wanted a Darkseid Rey, it would have been nice to see her with an alternate head that had those gritting, sharp teeth. Knowing Hasbro, what they will do is they will give us a new version later on down the line with those gritted teeth, because this body and this mould won't go to waste under Hasbro's tutelage, believe you me. So we will see a gritted teeth version of that with the sharp teeth. It's only a matter of time. They talked about how there's new technology employed for this switchblade lightsaber, and I've seen fans on the internet saying that they want to see this figure. Best of luck to you. It's not for me though, personally. I wasn't a fan of the character, but I actually think if they were going to do the movies, they probably should have turned Rey dark. That would have been a much better dynamic, but that's a topic for another day. The figure does look nice, I will say that. It does look very nice, and it just gives us kind of more of an image of what could have been, and the storyline that we could have gotten that would have been quite interesting, I think, within the movie. Ultimately though, they said that there's going to be soft goods with this, and I think that's a really clever idea, and I think that that is going to be a strong showing then. Next up then we have the Jar Jar Binks. So Jar Jar Binks is a character that was maligned by fans when he first came out, but seems to have found his way into the hearts of a lot of fans, myself included. I've always liked Jar Jar Binks, but I have to say, even now, I suppose I appreciate him even more, and given the fact that Ahmed Best has been an absolutely legendary individual in terms of talking about mental health, it's brilliant to see. So we have a deluxe Jar Jar Binks, and he comes with the shield from the Gungans, and he also comes with some Gungan weaponry. I'm really enjoying the look of this, and this is a deluxe figure, so he's going to be a little bit bigger and a little bit more of a higher price than some of the others. They're using the photoreal technology, and I think it absolutely kills it here. One of the first things I noticed about the Phantom Menace trailer was this character, the unique design, the oddity to it, and then when the movie came out, it was a character that I gravitated towards as a child, and I still really like him, so this is an instant purchase for me. I really like it. The detail on the arms as well too is absolutely phenomenal. I love the usage of the ball joint here in the neck and it's going to give him a nice nodding action in my opinion. Really like the battle shield, and if you have battle droids, you can accompany them now with Jar Jar and make it battle scene. Very nice with the Gungan weaponry, and I think it just looks really articulated, and I'm really happy to see this figure coming along. Next we had a Star Wars Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. So this Boba Fett is going to be an all new sculpt from what I understand, and this is brilliant. I think that they are going to capitalise on Boba Fett over the next couple of years, and if this is the all new body, I think with the rumoured appearances of him and the Mandalorian, when I say rumoured, it's been confirmed by Tamara Morrison's agency that he will be appearing in the Mandalorian as Boba Fett. So I'm very much so looking forward to this, and this is a character I think that Hasbro can pursue and push on with further than that. Very exciting to see that this guy is a deluxe release, which means that we're going to have multiple accessories for him, and we can see already in the packaging what those accessories are going to be. So we have a standard blaster, we have a blaster that's been cut in half, we have a flame effect, we also have a rope effect as well too, that I'm really looking forward to. The missile behind him is also removable, and I'm a big fan of that. So we see Boba here with the blaster that's cut in half. I think that looks really nice. Here's the flame effect inserted into the armature. I love that. I love the fact that Hasbro are using these effects now. I think it was a good thing from the Power Rangers Lightning collection that they've now taken these effects and said, well, what else can we do with this? And similarly with Transformers, I think that these effects work really nicely. I'm absolutely hyped for Boba Fett. I already have my pre-order in for this guy. That's how much I was really excited by seeing this. This image doesn't show the rope that they showed in the prototype, but believe you me, it looks very nice, and I think it harkens back then as well to the old trilogy when he tried to wrap up Luke Skywalker, and that inevitably failed. Next up then we have the Vintage Collection Incinerator Trooper. So I talked about that earlier on. It's exclusive to Walmart, which is disastrous for anybody that's a Vintage Collection fan, and I'm going to talk about exclusives then as this video goes on, and how the issues are going to arise from there. So we see here it has nice card art, beautiful looking piece of flame coming from the barrel of the gun. I think the figure looks overall very nice, but this is going to be a difficult figure for a lot of people to track down given the fact with the issues of Walmart in terms of pre-orders. Next figure up that we have seen today was an exclusive. This was supposed to be the Star Wars Celebration exclusive, and it is the Armorer, another character that I already have my pre-order in, thankfully. So I'm very happy to have that pre-order in quite easily and quite nicely. It's curious to see from this image that the Ford does look like it is soft goods, so we'll wait and see whether that is actually soft goods or not. The exclusivity of this pack is actually the two things that the Mandalorian Armorer is holding in her hands, and that is the Beskar armor for Din Djarin and also the flame hammer that is being used to craft his new armor. I'm happy to buy this, and I probably won't buy the single release now that I have this already wrapped up, so happy days on that one. Images look nice, and this does actually look like it's soft goods, so I hope that it does end up being the final result and the final product, hopefully, because sometimes these things get switched out, and I think the soft goods does look much better. So I'd say a lot of people that wanted soft goods in that initial release would probably be vying to get this release now rather than the single one. Next up on this was this 50th Lucasfilm Limited line. Now, they didn't elaborate too much on this one, which I was a little bit disappointed about. I wanted to see more about what this 50 Lucasfilm Limited meant, but here we are. We have a re-release in the archive collection of Grand Admiral Thrawn, and I will say, if anybody's a fan of Hasbro, you do know that they are always going to re-release figures when and however they can, particularly all new brand new sculpts. If you didn't see the first release, the second release, there will be a third release, given if it's a popular character. There have been rumours that Grand Admiral Thrawn is about to make his appearance again in live action or some sort of spin-off show, so it does not surprise me to see that this character has returned. I've purchased him in the exclusive set that was done a couple of years ago. I never purchased the standard edition, so I'm welcoming this archive version that I can pick up nice and easily. This guy's using photoreal technology as well too, so his eyes and his face will be a lot more cleaner and crisper than they were originally, so I'm very happy about that one. So I'm quite happy to purchase this guy yet again in the archive line. We have our fan vote winner, which was Commander Cody. Look, I don't think that, I think the prices in the secondary market really dictated this winner. I personally would have liked to see Qui-Gon Jinn. I personally think that Qui-Gon Jinn needs an updated head sculpt and the updated face print to really give us an ultimate Qui-Gon Jinn. I would love to see him in a deluxe release, perhaps later on down the line. I think that that is a character that they could use, given the fact that he's quite a tall character and that Qui-Gon had a number of different looks throughout that movie, particularly with the poncho and the Jedi robes. So I would love to see that. We've got Clone Commander Cody, so a lot of people will be happy to see that. It looks like it's the same mold from originally done, so I think this will be the last time we'll see this version of Cody, and I'd say in another couple of years, with the new clone body, the new trooper body, they will update Cody yet again with maybe an alternate head. I hope that Hasbro start using alternate heads like the Power Rangers, where there's a singular helmeted head and the secondary head is going to be a maskless head, because I think this putting a mask over the head isn't great. I don't really like it, and I think it makes the figures look really funny, like Jango Fett for example. I predicted this in my Hasbro PulseCon exclusive video where I talked about the Wampa. I've already posted that video, and it looks like I was right in saying that we would get a standard release Luke Skywalker from Hot. This was a no-brainer, given that the Wampa and Luke already appeared with each other in that exclusive set. So to split them apart and make us buy them separately, particularly with the photo reel, clever move by Hasbro. It's always going to be the way. So this is a nice looking figure. Excited to see this. Am I going to buy it? Probably not. That's going to be a pass for me, I think, to be honest. And then last but not least, we have Han. So Han, allegedly coming from the Hasbro team, said that they went to the archives, had a look at the jacket. It wasn't blue. They then decided it was brown. They've now coloured it brown, and they've given us an all-new look for Han. So very happy to see this one. I think that this is a nice figure. Uses the photo reel, which makes Harrison Ford's Han Solo look a lot better in my opinion. But I think it's another character that I'm probably going to pass on, purely because I majorly collect the bounty hunters, the Sith, the Jedi, and the troopers, and everybody else not too much really, to be honest. Next figure we've seen up is these Star Wars Holiday Edition figures. Disappointing that they don't say that they're Christmas edition and they go holidays, but I suppose that is the world we're living in right now. Here we have a snowtrooper with a holiday edition with a Porg. Quite curious to see that the Lucasfilm employee was more excited about the Porg than he was about these characters. Very, very, very strange in my opinion. But I suppose that's, again, a story for another day in terms of Lucasfilm. I think that this looks nice. He has an icicle blade. Looks very nice. I'm all in on this line. I'd purchase it. I have to say, I like it. So this is the images there of the snowtrooper, and he's exclusive at Walmart. It's going to be difficult to get, I'd say, that one. That's going to be a tough one to get hands on. Next one we had here is a Sith Trooper. He's available from Best Buy. He again comes with a Babu Frick that's repainted, and he comes then repainted in these colours with a big Nerf gun. So some new tooling, I suppose, within this line, which is nice. And the repaints as well too are a nice thing to see, I think, personally, because they will be well received. So that's him. They all come with sort of Christmas stockings as well too. We have a Black Series Clone Trooper. He's going to be at GameStop, which is a head-scratching decision given that GameStop don't allow international buyers to purchase from them, and their existence in Ireland and other parts of the world in terms of action figures is absolutely non-existent. So this one is going to be a very difficult one to track down for international buyers, in my opinion. He comes with this kind of Christmas jumper look with a TIE Fighter and a Death Star. Kind of an unusual choice, given that they didn't have TIE Fighters and Death Stars in Revenge of the Sith. I would have liked to see maybe something like a Republican gunship or something like that maybe instead of the Death Star, but I know that the end of the movie did end up, they did fly sort of TIE Fighters and the Death Star was being constructed. So a bit of a misstep, but anyway, I think it looks nice. I like the stockings on it. I like the elf looking Christmas stuff. I think this is for me. I like it. Stormtrooper here as well too. He is Christmas edition, holiday edition. Comes with this funky jumper looking tampo on him as well too. This looks like it's using the old mold of the Stormtrooper, so they haven't finished bleeding that mold dry just yet. Comes with a nice spear that's from the Praetorian Guard. Another Porg that's probably going to get turfed anyway. And I think ultimately that does look nice. So I'm a big fan. These were leaked images that we've seen there between today and yesterday, and I thought that this looked nice. The last one that was shown was a Santa Claus looking range trooper. This guy is available at Target, so it's going to cause more of a headache for people, I think, giving Target more exclusives. Exclusives are always a headache, I think, in terms of fans trying to acquire them. But anyway, here we go. We have a Santa Claus inspired Range Trooper. I'm a big fan of this, so I'd be purchasing this all day long. It comes with a droid, so this is a repaint of one of the droids from the sequel trilogy, and he comes with this icicle looking weapon. I think that looks really cool. Personally, I think I'm a big fan of this, and if I get the chance, I will be trying to purchase it. So that's the Range Trooper, that's the holiday edition figures. And that's that same Stormtrooper again. They decided to post again. They have the Force FX Elite lightsabers, and this is Ahsoka's. So Ahsoka's changes into multiple colours. I think it goes from white to blue and to yellow, apparently, according to them. But what I thought was interesting by this box art was that when we looked at the box art very clearly and very closely, it does look kind of like Rosario Dawson, so maybe this is a little bit of confirmation. I think they might have skewed the likeness a little bit so that there would be sort of a surprise in The Mandalorian, but I think that this looks quite like Rosario Dawson, and it, to me, it probably confirms that she is going to be Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian Season 2. Very interested to see how they try to put her into that show and explain to people who she is and why she's important. Here we have the Hasbro PulseCon, and it's the new Star Wars Haslab campaign. It's the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Razor Crest ship. It's 30 inches long, 20 inches wide, and 10.5 inches tall. It's designed to be compatible with most standard vintage scale figures and packs in so many features. Plus, they're including a brand new figure, the Mandalorian himself, along with his adorned Beskar armor and an exclusive soft goods cape. This was a little bit disappointing, and I'll say why. I was hoping to see this in a 6-inch series. Now, I know in a 6-inch series this is going to be absolutely massive. In a 3.75 series, I suppose it's okay. It is quite large. The price though for it is $350, which translates to €400. So for my international fans, it looks like Xavi is carrying this. So after the Sentinel, it looks like Xavi is going to carry this at €400, and I presume £350. So that's personally, I think it's very expensive. With the success of The Mandalorian and with the stuff that we've seen from Hasbro over the last couple of years that they've pumped out onto store shelves, I'm bemused as to why they've decided to do this as a Haslab campaign. Absolutely bemused, because with the shelf space they've taken up over the last couple of years, I cannot understand for the life of me why they've decided to now make this a Haslab exclusive. This would have sold like hotcakes in my opinion in major stores, and they could have broken this down into different parts to make sure it fit onto shelf space. They sell Titan class Transformers. Why couldn't they have done this? And it would have been at a far lower price point. It's a very strange decision in my opinion, and I don't really understand it. That being said, I think the detail in this is absolutely phenomenal, I will say, but we have had ships in the past that have had great detail. I like the 3.75 Mandalorian here. Looks very nice. The soft goods cape is an attractive proposition, and they have said with more backers there will be more things that they will release. I want to see a carbonite frozen individuals that you can hang over here on the right hand side. I want to see a 3.75 inch version of the child. I know it would be tiny, but to me that's a no-brainer that it has to come as well. I would love to see lights and sounds on this, and other than that, I don't really know what else you could pack into this one. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think they could include in this Haslab Mandalorian Razor Crest. Next item up, we have some of the Marvel Legends stuff, and for me, we have the sweepstakes here. For me, the Marvel Legends reveals today were a little bit weak. I thought that the Stormbreaker was very nice. I liked it. I have the Iron Man helmet. I have the Star-Lord helmet. I have Mjolnir. And Stormbreaker looks like I'd probably purchase that as well too. Nice to see Joe Russo getting on the phone and saying that it's there. I actually was expecting Chris Hemsworth personally if they were going to announce Stormbreaker, but hey ho, there we go. It looks really nice and I'm a big fan. That's an instant purchase. This was already revealed through UK sources. I'm not going to name the shop because I don't want to get them in trouble, but we have the reveal of the Hellfire Club Guard. So this is the all new figure, the army builder they were talking about. Star Wars, Hasbro Star Wars. Do this with your clone troopers and stormtroopers. You will sell so many of them, and I will purchase many of them because this box gives us a cheaper version of a trooper, and people will just purchase that. I'll purchase these all day long, and I would be very happy to do that. So please do think about doing that. This for me though was one of the weaker waves I've seen, and there isn't really a character in this that I want. Build-A-Figure Joe Fixit from the Marvel Avengers figures. Yeah, it looks okay. The Tony Stark Iron Man from a spacesuit. I haven't played the game, so I had no interest in the game. So seeing this Tony Stark head sculpt is nice. It would look nice on the Game Reverse Iron Man that we've got to have him hold his helmet. So that might be a purchase on that one. We've got a stealth Captain America. No interest in that. There's a nice alternate head for Steve Rogers. We've got a comic-inspired Falcon. I think anybody who bought the Vulture could see that this one was coming a mile away. So this is a welcome release. I'd be interested to see if we get a Sam Wilson Captain America soon from the same book. I wouldn't be surprised if that will come down the line personally. We have Ultron's girlfriend, so we have Acosta, so not interested either personally. And then we have Kang the Conqueror, so clearly Hasbro got the memo on that Kang was going to be cast in the MCU, so now is a good time to release this character and get him into the minds of the public and of the fans. And then we had this guy, I would think Thunderstrike is his name. I wouldn't really be familiar with him, but 90s action looks okay. It's a very passable wave though, personally, for me. And if you're into it, great, but not for me. Then we had the Hasbro Legends Retro 3.75 figure 2-packs. We've got Black Panther and Captain America, Iron Man and Cyclops. We've got Spider-Man and Electro, Iron Man and Black Panther. So that was it on that one. I think ultimately today's Hasbro reveals were good. It was nice to see the crew be so passionate about what they were talking about. I thought the Marvel Legends panel drew out a little bit too long, and I think that the reveals weren't really great on it. So we've seen as well too, we've gotten a bad guy wave. We've seen Dormammu that has been revealed. We've also seen Stiltman. We've got a Miles Morales Spider-Man, and we have a Gwen Stacy Ghost Spider, or I suppose Spider-Gwen, coming out from the Spider-Verse movie. Pictures are out there. They have been circulating for those characters, and I think that the Spider-Verse wave looks very decent. Gwen is going to be coming with a Spider-Ham figure, which I think is going to be very interesting to see, and I would imagine that a Peter B. Parker isn't too far behind. I think that they are going to make a Peter B. Parker. I would be surprised if we didn't get a Spider-Man Noir. We are getting Stiltman as well too. They showed some of the House of X characters like Professor Xavier, the white suit Magneto, and then they finished it off then today by showing the retro line of Gambit and Rogue. So I would say a lot of people who have been reselling Rogue were absolutely disgusted to see that this retro card Rogue is coming along. Now, on the issue of exclusive that I talked about earlier on, we have exclusives now at Target and Walmart, which is an absolute head wrecker, and Rogue is one of them. So after them sculpting a new head for Gambit, they have decided to make him and Rogue a Target exclusive. That is a baffling decision in my opinion, because why would you do that with a sought after character when these sites and these stores have had so many problems with getting these figures and have just driven people towards eBay and driven them towards scalping. We've seen the mess that was created over the Cobra Trooper. So I'm baffled as to why these companies decide to do these type of things. It seems like a strange business practice rather than just releasing these things at all retail. Rogue is going to sell very well. Gambit is going to sell very well. And I would like to see this exclusivity to websites just be nipped in the bud, because personally it's very, very irritating. Ultimately, as a show today, I thought things went well. Luckily, we were not region blocked, it seems, by YouTube, which was a happy coincidence. Maybe they heard the fan feedback and they just decided not to region lock it or geo lock it. So that was really appreciated that we could watch in on this, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow to seeing what Transformers and Power Rangers brings, and also Ghostbusters and G.I. Joe Classified, of course, as well too. So I will be reporting on what happens there. It is sort of strange that they decided not to reveal everything today, and that some of the waves, like the Bad Guy wave for example, they said, well, we're only going to reveal 3 of them. I would have rather seen a full wave of them rather than the whole Avengers wave 2. That was a bit disappointing. We are going to get a Jim Starlin and 30th anniversary Thanos, so it looks like that's going to be a deluxe figure. Very welcome, and it seems like they're reusing the mold that they've previously done, but not the Build-A-Figure mold, which is obviously very appreciated. I would have loved to see X-Men's Angel. I would love to see more PS4 Spider-Man characters, and I think for the Marvel Legends, I think they are going to get into a situation, I think, where eventually they're going to run out of characters that are prominent characters, and they're going to have to end up redoing some certain characters again, or maybe the line comes to an end. I can't see it going too much more on from here. I'd love to see Mephisto, and I suppose that's really it in terms of big bads that I would like to see. I think other than that, I'm not sure who else we could get personally. But ultimately, I think it was a good show today. I would like to see the teams hone in on things specifically like the fans asked. I thought that the opening segment for the Marvel Legends one was good when they showed kind of like a read the main tweets idea with the Deadpool. I thought that was quite funny and quite jovial. I enjoyed that. But I would like to see them tackle this whole idea of exclusivity. It's very irritating as an international fan when you're trying to say, well, are we going to get these figures or not? And then Hasbro are like, yeah, that's no problem, we'll look into that now and stay tuned. That stay tuned stuff really irritates me, because I think they already know, like say an Avengers wave is a bit of a weak wave. I think they know that a lot of people wanted to see way more of the Star Wars Black Series stuff. We've already seen images of a Black Series Han, Luke and Leia from Endor. The images are already out there. We've already seen Cad Bane in a single release as well too. That's already out there. Images of those are already out there. I do understand why they didn't decide to reveal Han, Luke and Leia. That's purely got to do with them trying to sell their exclusive with the speeder bike. That's all that has to do with. So I can understand that, but it was quite curious that they didn't reveal that. They didn't show anything from the Mandalorian, given that they said it was really successful. Why didn't they show, say, Moff Gideon, Grief Karga, Quill? Maybe they are holding those characters back for those Mando Mondays, which is pretty a good marketing and business idea. It keeps people checking in and seeing what's happening. But I think when this is your big con, I think a lot of people were a little bit surprised that this was what they've shown. Obviously, the teams are working hard because reveals happen, leaks happen. It seems like American stores just put these figures out on a whim. They don't honor street dates sometimes, and that's how we got to see these early, which is, as a fan, I'm delighted to see that and without having to wait too long. But I think for these teams, it's obviously very frustrating when they put a lot of time, work and effort into these things, and then it's revealed days early or weeks early. I've seen some UK sites and they have already been critical of Hasbro, saying that all of the images are on Facebook, but they can't tell people what they'll be listing later on, which creates a panic, and certain sites go down and certain sites have problems and too much traffic. So to me, if Hasbro were just more straightforward with them, that would be a lot more honourable. I have to say, overall today, I was most impressed with the Boba Fett. I was very impressed with the Incinerator Trooper. I was very impressed with the Jar Jar Binks. I liked the look of Dormammu, and I thought Stormbreaker looked really nice. And I have to say, the Dungeons and Dragons, the Drist and the Panther looked absolutely outstanding. I have to say that was probably one of the highlights and biggest surprises of today. I hope that is a line that continues on and we get many characters from that, because I think a mythical sort of waves and dragons and stuff like that could be a brilliant thing for Hasbro to get into, and they could certainly compete with other companies that are doing that at the moment. The Razor Crest overall, do I think it's worth it? No, not at the moment. That is an extortionate amount of money, I think, for the Razor Crest. Now, they did try to say, oh, well, the sail barge was more expensive than this. This is a little bit cheaper. I don't think that's an out. I don't think they can use that personally, and I think that is a very expensive price to be paying for the Razor Crest. Personally, this thing would want to be chromed up. The Mandalorian would want to be chromed up to make that anyway worth it. And I would be interested to see what the backer count will be on this one. I think it will blast past the numbers that they are thinking of, and I think that those tiers will be unlocked fairly easily. What did you think of today's Hasbro PulseCon? Were you excited by it, or is your big excitement for tomorrow, like mine is, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers is where I'm at personally for this. I'm looking forward to those. What did you think? Was all of the reveals today interesting to you, or was there a lot of stuff that you would pass on? Is everything that was revealed today on your purchase list, and have you pre-ordered any of this stuff yet? Does the way Hasbro deciding to make exclusive of these figures, putting them in Target and Walmart, cause you frustration and sorrow? because it certainly does put me off certain lines when you're making them an exclusive and it's a timed exclusive and all of that. I think it's very issue laden. Hasbro have said in recent days that they are going to be moving into second productions of the Supreme Cobra Commander and the Draken, the Lord Draken Evo 3 figure. So that means that these Hasbro exclusives, I think, will be plentiful. I don't think they will be too hard to get. I will say though, I think that the Target exclusives are going to be quite difficult to get along with the Walmart ones, given the fact that a lot of people have issues with them. Anything that comes up on Amazon though, I am more than happy to pre-order, because I think Amazon are very easy to pre-order with. They seem to order enough units. Obviously though, for people that are in-package buyers, Amazon stress them out because the packaging from Amazon aren't great. So maybe if Hasbro and other companies could work with them on telling them to pack things properly, I think a lot of people would be a lot more relieved about that. Would you feel the same way? Let me know in the comments. What did you think of today's reveals? Was this something that you really were excited for, or was it something that you were a little bit let down by? Do you think that the leaks coming out early really deters from and hurts these panels, or are you happy with them and then you can skip on and not have to watch these panels? Some of the Marvel stuff, I thought personally, when they talked for about 30 minutes about stuff that wasn't really relevant, seemed a little bit drawn out. I thought the Ashley Eckstein and the Bradley Baker panel was a little bit drawn out. It was kind of boring. Thought the Hero Quest one was a little bit boring too. I understand what they're trying to do, but I don't know if it really worked personally, bringing people in. It was great to see Joe Manganiello be so interested in D&D, and I would absolutely love to see him continue to play Deathstroke. So AT&T, get on that one. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you later. Good luck.